Hey, what's up, everyone? This is SnackBox. Hope you all are having a great Sunday. Guys, I just saw the new event pop up here, the Deck of Fate, and we got a new guaranteed Void Legendary. Before we start, I want to point out that the majority of my viewers is not subscribed to the channel, so please, if you enjoy the content, subscribe, and while you're at it, also leave a thumbs up. And now let's get back to the video. So, some of you probably already noticed the Deck of Fate in here in the Events tab, alongside other events that are going to start tomorrow. And here you actually don't see that it's going to be a Void guaranteed event, right? Luckily enough, I have a screenshot for you, and it's this one. So tomorrow, on Monday, March the 17th, there is the St. Patrick's Day, and for the St. Patrick's Day, we have this Deck of Fate event. And as you can see here, it says, get a legendary Void champion, Kawn Branchbreaker in a Verdant Deck of Fate event. Get Clover coins by summoning souls from soul stones, getting artifacts, and summoning champions. Then use them to flip cards for rewards. The rarer the card, the better the reward. Happy St. Patrick's Day and happy raiding. So that means it's either going to be a soul rush or a soul chase, a summon rush or a champ chase, and a dungeon divers. So there's 3 ways to get points for this Deck of Fate event, and if you have a good amount of soul stones saved up, then you're probably in a good position. And as you can see, you can also get a 4-star epic in here. And I really hope it's going to be the fusion epic, because if it's the fusion epic, then this is a no-brainer. You get a fusion epic and a Void guaranteed legendary champion. I'm in. The way this fusion is set up with all the dungeon divers, it's 3 in total and just 1 dungeon tournament at the same time. It's really energy intensive, and I want to save as much as I can. And if I can get me an epic for the fusion by opening soul stones, I will do so. I've been saying this actually for months, to save up for this Void guaranteed legendary champion event. And to be honest, I'm ready. I got my soul stones. I got almost 200 soul stones, 170. If I would buy some Immortal Soul Stones with the coins I would have like 20. And with all the coins I would get from those Soul Stones that I'm opening, I could buy 2 or 3 Eternal Soul Stones maybe, depending on what I pull and what I can sell, right? But I got a lot of Soul Stones saved up. I also have a lot of shards saved up. I have 16 Sacred Shards, 167 Ancient Shards, so I'm good. I'm probably gonna be able to complete this Deck of Fate easily, but I have also been saving up for months. So I hope you did the same. I hope you listened to my advice. But now let's actually take a look at this champion and if he's even worth it. So it's a defense-based Void Legendary from the Orcs faction, and it's this guy. Now, he looks pretty cool, right? He has this shield with the heads on it, the big axe. I love the design. This is what an orc should look like. Big and robust and with a heavy weapon, right? If we take a look at his base stats, he has okayish HP, very low attack, which he doesn't need, very solid defense, 100 speed, also not bad, 15% crit rate, 63% crit damage, pretty solid. Now let's take a look at his kit. And his kit is actually pretty interesting, but I don't know if it will be effective enough. So let's take a look at the A1. The A1, the Timber Maker, attacks 1 enemy before attacking, removes 1 random buff from the target. This effect cannot be resisted if this champion is under a shield buff. So this can be actually pretty solid. If he has a shield buff, he can basically remove a stone skin. It's a single target attack, but still, it gets better. Places a block revive debuff if this attack kills an enemy. Now this is actually very solid. We are currently in a revive meta. All the Galateers and Marichkas and all these champions that are insane revivers, and there to have a block revive champion that is defense based is actually pretty solid, because that means he's also a little bit tankier, than an attack champion, for example. And I actually don't know if there is a defense based champion that has block revive. All the champions that come to my head when I think about block revive are attack based. There's Narcissus, of course. He's HP based, but other than that, I don't know. Increases the value of any shield buffs on this champion by 30% of the damage dealt, cannot increase by more than 10,000. Alright, you can book the damage up by 20%. That's 4 books. Then the A2 is Branchbreaker. It's an AoE attack. And it can be booked to a free turn cooldown, and the damage can be increased by 20%. Ignores a percentage of each target's defense equal to 50% of the difference between this champion's max HP and any shields on them. Alright, so this skill is kind of confusing the way it's worded, but I actually reviewed him in one of my live streams, and we had a discussion about it. And I think the way this works is if he has 100k HP and a 30k shield, there's a difference of 70k. So 50% of that would be 35% defense ignore. That's how I understand this skill. Also destroys each target's max HP by 20% of the damage inflicted. Stacks up to 50%. This effect will ignore any shields. So again, he's very conditional. He needs to have shield to maximize the damage, but also this skill ignores shields. Then the A3 places a shield buff proportional to this champion's defense and a 25% strengthen buff on all allies for 2 turns. Also places a counterattack buff on this champion for 2 turns and can be booked down to 3 turn cooldown. So yeah, he's a little bit selfish with the counterattack, but he buffs the whole team with shield and strengthen. Now, what I don't like about this champion is that he kind of needs a setup, right? Like, he needs the shield. So either way, you're gonna bring somebody in a bolster set for arena, right? That's what we are all thinking about at first. If you bring him into the arena, he kind of has to have a bolster set, and then maybe he needs to be in stone skin so the bolster set or the shield doesn't get damaged or removed by damage in order to maximize his full potential, right? But let's take a look at the passive. Mistwood's Bane removes 1 random debuff from this champion at the start of the turn. At the start of every 4th turn by this champion, removes all debuffs from them and places a 60% increased defense buff on them for 2 turns. Increases this champion's defense by 3% for each debuff removed by this skill, stacks up to 30%. Okay, so he can ramp up damage. He has like a little cleanse every time he takes a turn, and every 4th turn he removes all debuffs and then buffs himself with increased defense. This is actually pretty interesting. He got something like a Doom Priest passive going on, but just for him, single target, and then every 4th turn he removes all debuffs, buffs himself, and he also stacks up his defense, which will increase his damage. Kind of like what Harima does with her A2, just in a different way. So in my opinion, so far, I feel like this champion might perform better in PvE content than PvP content in the arena. What I really like about this champion is that he has a block revive, because this can be really, really solid. The only problem is that it's a single target attack, right? He has an AoE attack, so that's also an upside. But yeah, I don't know if it's enough. But from the looks of it, he looks solid, but he needs a setup so he can reveal his full potential. Will he be a top tier arena nuker? I honestly don't think so, but maybe I'm wrong, right? The passive is pretty nice that he's removing a debuff. This can be really clutch. The block revive comes in handy. Now the question is just how much damage can he actually do? Is it enough, to wipe out the team? But I think we will find out in the next couple of days when people get this guy. If we take a look at the ratings, they are not looking that good, let me tell you. I don't know, probably not many people do have this guy, and they probably also maybe don't know how to set him up, right? You kind of need a decent setup for him so he can, perform. And that is basically also the problem, but maybe it is effective. There are a lot of, nukers that don't really need a setup and are performing very well. So I don't know. We will see. I will definitely go for it because, as you saw, there might be a fusion epic in there. Also, we get a lot of other things in return from the stack of fate. So yeah, I will definitely go for it, and then we will see how this guy will perform, right? One thing I forgot, actually, he has also a defense aura in all battles. It's increased by 33%, which is pretty solid. If I remember correctly, last year, after the anniversary event, we actually had 2 Void legendary guaranteed events. One of them was Fatalis Blademaster. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's how I remember it. And then afterwards, there was Narcissus as a guaranteed Void legendary. Right here. I actually stopped playing at that time, I think, and took a break from Raid. That's why I don't have him. But if I had played at that time, I would have definitely got him. But yeah, I'm expecting another Void legendary event after this stack of fate. So keep that in mind if you go for this. Don't use up all your Void shards. There might be another event coming up soon. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. Always keep in mind, use your resources carefully. If you are a free-to-play player, you can participate in every event and tournament. And if you want to participate in tournaments and events like this, you need to save up resources for months to be prepared. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and see you in the next video.